Wendy has the follow-up to the first question, actually.
Okay.
And that question is, Raj, after my experience with Reiki this past week, I believe I'm ready to do what has been referred to as body work regarding the reason I've put so much weight onto my body. What is the reason I've gone from size 4 to size 16 in such a short time?
Very literally, you're feeling stuck. You're feeling no movement. You're feeling no, shall I say, expansion in terms of your life. You can't continue being who you were. The demands that were there are no longer there. In a way, it's as though you feel jobless, and what gave you purpose is no longer present to give you purpose, so there's a feeling of loss of purposefulness. It's a time of transition. It's a time of, you know what? It's a time of rediscovering your potentials. Potentials for making the gift. But who you were and what gave you a sense of purpose was so meaningful that you don't want to let it go. You thought it would be around for a long time. So now here you are, like an 18-year-old, at a point of transition where anything is possible. And you didn't think you would be at this threshold again. You didn't think you would be at this threshold that an 18-year-old is at again. And it's time for you to become inquisitive with no holds barred. Once you begin to find new purpose because you're not hanging on to the old purpose, you will find doors opening, you will find expansion occurring in your life, and your body will stop expanding instead. You're not experiencing a lot of satisfaction right now, and that's because you're hanging on to the past. So, just stop it. Just stop it. Turn over a new leaf, so to speak. Imagine that you've just graduated from high school. Imagine that the sky is the limit. Imagine that you can do anything you want to do. Except now, knowing a little bit better than you did when you were 18 years old, don't try to figure out what of all the infinite possibilities you are going to do. Ask instead of the Father, out of the infinite possibilities that I stand on the threshold of, out of the void that I stand at the precipice of, what is your plan? What is your plan for me? What is your plan for me? If you will do this with the feelings that you had when you were 18 years old, you will ask about purpose without putting a ceiling or a limit on what the possibilities are, you see? I want you to leave the possibilities infinitely open. Oh yeah, it means things are going to change for you, and you will feel like you're changing. Hey, but if things don't change, you might grow into a size 20 dress. So you really do want change. You don't really want to hold on to the past. You really do want fresh, new, vital activity and interest and opportunities to embody everything that you are in new and meaningful ways. You asked, and that's the answer. And I will encourage you to have fun. Okay.
Is this a good time to come back to Marcus Jungmann's personal question?
Not yet.
And Terrell had a follow-up to his photos of spirits remarks in his question.
Thank you. Very well.
Terrell says, I love to take photos of spirits, and should I extend those? And do I have a spirit guide? And if so, who is it?
The answer to the first question is yes. The answer to your question of whether you have a spirit guide, although I would prefer the word guide to spirit guide, the answer to that is yes. Who it is, you will have to find out from your guide. That is something I never answer the question to. That's part of your establishing the connection. And that is part of what establishes the intimacy of it for you, and I would not violate that. Okay.
Jill Carroll has a question. Jill asks, Raj, I would like to know if it serves purpose to utilize the Enneagram to help teach about understanding and forgiveness of our brothers, sisters, and show aspects of our wholeness. Thank you, Jill. She adds, is it for her to include the teaching of the Enneagram in her work? That's it.
Yes. It is appropriate for you to include it, but I would encourage you to include it cautiously, sparingly, and only when it is clear to you that it will be helpful in keeping the focus on the love rather than, let us say, the structure of the Enneagram. The Enneagram cannot become the point. That's the end of the answer.
There is a question from, and I don't know how to pronounce this, Eduvigis.
Yes.
Eduvigis, something like that. Anyways, this person asks, "Hi, I am new to the gatherings and have never chatted on the internet before, and I will try to do my best. I would like to ask Raj whether it is appropriate for me to pursue pranic healing, pardon me if I mispronounce that, even career-wise, or just continue with my school teaching position. Thank you very much."
At the present time, you are right where you belong. Your gifts are best given right where you are. A change at this time is not in order, no. And do not let your attention be pulled away from where you are and what you're doing. It is more valuable than you might think. I repeat, it is more valuable than you might think. Okay.
Earlier, okay, let's see here. I have trouble pronouncing names sometimes, so pardon me. A person by the name of Rafaela Sousa asks, "My question concerns the process of finding a house to live. I've been, for these past years, feeling this house issue to be a problem in my experience. I've had to move very frequently for reasons not related to any effort for improvement. I would like to ask, what would be an appropriate approach to this matter? What would be the right mental attitude? Also, recently a house appeared in my experience that I may have the possibility to buy. Is it wise to do it, and will it contribute to the well-being of all involved?"
Absolutely. Do indeed pursue this house. It is time for you to stop having a vagabond experience in terms of moving. Pursue this house. Even if there is work to be done on it, pursue it. It fulfills purpose. Embrace it gladly. That's the end of the answer.
Lenny has a question. Lenny asks, "Since we'll be there soon, what's it like in the fourth dimension? Can you describe the wonderful feelings, sights, sounds, etc.? Thank you, Lenny Rose."
No, I will not, because it would not be helpful. You say, you will be there soon. Everyone will be there soon. You're already there. And I am intent upon having you give your attention exactly where the opportunity to experience the shift of perception can occur. And the only place it can occur is when you are giving your attention to, as I said earlier, absolutely anything that is confronting you. Whether it is the person in front of you, whether it's a strand of their hair, whether it's a flower. Because I could say, all that it fourth dimensionally is right there in front of you. And the only thing that keeps you from experiencing it is your commitment to your current definition of what that thing is, and what that thing's purpose is, what that thing's function is. I have at various times shared some things about the experience. But today that is not where we will go. If you have another question, I will be most happy to consider it. Okay.
Shall we come back after Lenny has a moment to collect his thoughts?
Oh, of course, yes. Let us go on to another question.
Okay. Paul Davis asks, "Hello, Raj. Thank you for what you do. My question is very simple. Is the voice I hear in conversation in my mind that says, 'It is you,' capital Y-O-U. I have struggled with this for a long time, as it seems I may be deluding myself. Thank you."
The answer to the question is yes. And Paul will assure you that it's no big deal. Nothing to feel grand about. Why? Because I'm always pushing Paul's limits. I'm always nudging him beyond his comfort zone. And I'll be doing the same with you. And sometimes you won't like me. Because I don't put up with no shit. What I mean by that is that it doesn't help you or anyone else to only be supplied with feel-good information. When the abandoning of something that you're doing that doesn't work, but which you have commitment to, must be let go of. Or when your capacity to be more than you think you can be must be embraced and embodied. And you say, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. Everything in me says I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Well, you must. And here's the way to do it. Oh. You're really pushing my buttons. Okay. I'm pushing your buttons. But you have capacities that you don't believe you have. You have capacities that you are resisting embracing, and they are keeping you miserable. And so here's the next step. Well, do I have to do it now? Well, if you don't want to be miserable, you have to do it now. You see? I'm your brother. I'm not a figurehead. I'm your brother. I'm as real as you, and you're as real as me. And that's the way I deal with you. That's the way I deal with Paul. That's the way I be with everyone. I'm not talking to you because you're special, so don't get too big a head about it. I'm your friend. And I'll help you keep from stubbing your toe unless you insist upon stubbing your toe. And then I'll let you stub your toe, and then we can talk about how not ever to do that again. So, I am glad to be talking with you. That's the end of the answer. Actually, because we started late, we will extend the time somewhat beyond 6. And so we will take another 10-minute break and then continue. Okay. There may have been technical difficulty. Because we started late, we will extend beyond, for some period of time beyond 6. And so we will take a 10-minute break right now. Okay.
Lenny has a follow-up question.
Who?
Lenny. And Lenny asks, I am 55, and although I don't believe in mental thought constructs on age, I'm starting to feel signs of body deterioration. How can I get rid of these deep-seated unconscious thoughts? I am believing that my body is a small fraction of who I really am. Thank you, Raj and Paul. You've helped me tremendously.
Oh, indeed. The body is a small fraction of what you are. All of creation is the totality of what you are. What I want you to do, what I want everyone to do, is to consciously begin to place your body under the jurisdiction of God rather than the jurisdiction of the laws of matter, the laws of physics. Some of the deterioration, they say, is due to gravity. Well, we're talking physics, aren't we? But if your body is an idea held in the mind of God, it's eternal, and ultimately you will find that it's eternally in its prime. In other words, eternally in the state of perfection that God set into motion, that God is being at this moment. This is the key thing. You're not going to escape your body. You're not going to get beyond it. You're always going to be a recognizable presence, both universally and specifically. The idea of you in the mind of God is forever unchanging, forever intact, forever lovely. Stop seeing it as a temporary abode for your soul. Stop seeing it as temporary in any way. Bring it under God's jurisdiction. That is where it is. But I will tell you, when you take it out from under God's jurisdiction and give it your own physical definitions, and you back your definitions up with what your scientists say, you block the experience of the uninterruptible, unchanging evidence of God that your body is. It's very simple. Your body has no capacity to act. Your body has no capacity to act. It reflects you being. It's the visibility and tangibility of you. You are eternal. It is eternal. You are changeless. It is changeless. Embrace your body consciously daily. Under the jurisdiction of God. And when you look and you see something that obviously does not reflect perfection, recognize the quirk in your mind, not the imperfection in the body. Recognize the quirk in your mind that sees the imperfection and doesn't challenge it, you see? That will tell you right off the bat that you are looking at a definition you have made up that says, this imperfection is normal. 55, what do you expect? That's just a definition. It's a mindset. It's a pattern of thought. Notice that. Event in your mind that recognizes a flaw and doesn't challenge it. Why? So that you can own what you're doing, so that you can consciously become aware of the fact that you have a definition and you're seeing that definition and you're agreeing with it, thereby confirming it. And if it goes unchallenged, there can be no shift of perception, no shift in your attention. Notice it so that you can say, oh, no, my body's under the jurisdiction of God, not physics. And I acknowledge that. And I do not accept what my eyes see. I do not validate what I'm seeing through my old perceptions. It is invalid, and because God did not make it, it cannot stand.